Another week, another game. This week I roll into the roller coaster business with ScreamRide. Man, I roll into it. As with most games, though, I go into them without any sort of clue as to what the game's about, any sort of concept. I just kind of look at a photo and say, hey, this should be fun. And ScreamRide's no different. It's a combination of a few different games, if I have to think of it of anything. It has a campaign which shows you how, as a new employee at the company ScreamRide, to go into different fields, and you have different objectives in those fields. The first one is the ScreamRider, which is to ride the coasters, complete them as fast as possible, and that's all there is. There's different tracks to go on and different obstacles you have to go and kind of pass in order to go and get to the goal, but that's the easiest field that they have. The second one is the demolition field, and as that name suggests, you have to destroy things. You get a certain number of capsules to use, each have their own abilities, and you try to get as many points as possible from destroying things. There's explosives, there's different chain reactions you can go and cause. It's pretty cool and kind of fun to just destroy things. The final one is really the opposite of that in the engineering field, because you have to complete a coaster and do test rides to make sure you know it functions properly and it's a working roller coaster. Between all three of them, there are criteria that you need to meet in order to complete the level, and the game gives you what's called commendations, and those are based on how many points you get at the end of each level, and you can complete some bonus objectives to help out with that as well. That's kind of how the scoring works as a whole. In order to go and unlock more levels, you need to get a specific amount of combinations, which can be frustrating at a point. I mean, this isn't the first game to do this, and I don't think that's a bad way of doing things. More levels are locked behind a skill wall, basically. That's all I can really put it as. It's a skill wall. You have to get a certain number of points, and to get those points, you need to go and keep redoing the levels until you can kind of improve upon it, which could be a bit grindy and something that a lot of people aren't going to really like. But I think it's still fun. I think it kind of breathes life into the game, puts some longevity into it, especially with the 3 different paths you can go on. You just need to keep going at it and keep trying to get those scores and improve them and try out different techniques to eventually get to work for you. That's all there really is to the game, but it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I think each field is unique and different enough that you can kind of have a play style for everyone. You don't have to go and complete all of them if you don't want to. It's not absolutely required. It just kind of gives you a bit of options to go with if you want. That's all I have, though, for this week. Time for the hint for next week. Time to put on the mask and get to wrestling. See you next week.